You want to drop that tummy, that burn belly fat, but you still want to keep the essential areas. Ladies know what we are talking about here. Now, I have a way. Maybe you're not going to like it, but it's a very interesting one. And I have things that you should not do, and then I have things that you should do. And at the end of it all, you will have a way of getting that tummy out and having some really nice features where you want them to be at. And wait, before you forget, I know you're watching this video, you're so much interested in what we have here, but you are not a subscriber. I think it's high time we sit down and have a conversation and we get to establish what's going on. I think we need to reconsider this friendship that we have here, whatever we have going on here. Don't you like what you're doing here? Why don't you to join us? Subscribe. Long story short. Now, first of all, I don't have stories for you today, so I'll just go directly to what you should not do. Blending the fruits. That one, it's a little bit controversial, but hear me out. I'm sure you've heard severally that you should consider complex carbohydrates over simple carbohydrates. Now, the reason for that is quite simple. Now, when you take complex carbohydrates, your body usually takes a little bit longer to digest that. This means that the body is going to take a little bit longer before you extract whatever is in that food. So by doing that, you're going to have a trickling effect. So over time, yeah, just a tiny amount over time. So if you compare that to simple carbohydrates, by the time it's getting to the stomach, because maybe you even have glucose in the food that you're taking, absorption has already started, meaning that within some few minutes, you have a spike in your blood. This is what we are trying as much as possible to avoid, because we are going to avoid two things, yeah, spiking sugar and also spiking insulin. Now, and by the way, we are targeting people who are overweight in this one. By overweight, I mean you have accumulated fat, which is what you want to get rid of. And the fats that we are talking about here, those are carbohydrates that you've been eating over time. So you have that already in store, so you don't need it. You might want to do other things or eat other things that are essential to the body, like proteins and vegetables, but you just not take carbohydrates. Now, let's just go back here. The concept about simple sugars and complex carbohydrates, apply that to the fruits or the smoothie that you want to prepare. Now you have your fruits there. I recommend you eat that fruit whole, and by doing that, several things are happening. When you blend that, it's kind of like you're helping the body to digest that. So you make it simple for the body to absorb whatever is in that fruit. The other thing is, don't focus on your appearance, yeah, so much, especially what other people are talking about you, because people, yeah, of course, you are overweight, you are out of shape, or maybe even the clothes that you have, they look nice, they're really good, but then you don't fit in them anymore. So you start getting comments from people that you're overweight. So when they are giving out examples, they start giving examples with you. So that gets to your head. Guess what follows? You start becoming sensitive about yourself, and also you start getting stressed about your body, about the shape, about the discomfort that you get. Maybe sitting down, maybe walking, maybe running, you can be able to run. So all this accumulates into stress. When you get stressed, something happens, yeah? You produce cortisol. Now, this is a very essential, very good hormone, but it will act against you in this instance. One, we have most of the people, when you get stressed, and especially ladies, you tend to eat more. And guess what you eat more? Carbohydrates. And there is a reason for that. There is a scientific reason for that. Another thing that usually happens is your body gets into storage mode. So you start accumulating fat. And that's why most of the people, when you get stressed, you start gaining weight. We have others that will lose weight, but there are few. Let's go to those who usually gain weight. Now, the first one, the cravings that you get as a result of you being stressed. Through evolution, cortisol is one of that hormone which has really helped the humankind to evolve. And how do you evolve? You get stressed because of whatever is in them. environment, and then from there you adapt a way. What usually help you is the stress hormone. So stress could have come because of several things, like for example a famine, or maybe there is no food, or maybe there is fire. So you need to act against that. So what you need to do in this instance is, first of all, to store as much of energy as possible, because you will need that. So that energy will be stored in form of fat. Sometimes your body will even trigger you into eating more right now, and because you have a way of storing whatever you're eating in form of carbohydrates, so you're going to eat as much of that so that you get to store more of it. I don't know whether I'm making sense, but I think I am. Your body will be triggered into storing or prompt you into eating more, and if this will be specifically carbohydrates, it will be more, you'll start craving for things which are sweet. So stay away from stress. Actually, it's usually very hard to stay away from stress. What I would want you to use that stress for is, now you see, they're talking maybe bad about you, you don't like how maybe they describe your body. Use that energy to make yourself better, because guess what? At the end of the day, if you just go and just sleep it off, or maybe you just avoid people, you're not doing anything good to your body. So the best thing that you can do is just getting out there and looking for ways to make yourself better. Even if it's going to be 2 grams per day, that's a progress. Just look for something that you enjoy and then start working on it. The other thing that you need to stop is, don't cut off the carbohydrates that you are taking. If you've been taking your fries, you have your fries every now and then, you have noticed that the junk food that you're eating is what is giving you weight. Now, what you can do is, instead of cutting it short completely 100%, or even sugar, because so many people just drop it 100% and then they will start craving for that. What you can do is just reduce. What I usually prefer, like, start small. So if this is what you usually take per day, just take half of it per day. Just reduce. Your sugar, if you usually use, let's say, 4 spoons of sugar, just cut that into 2. What you're doing here is, you're not denying your body what it usually uses to get dopamine. Of course, that's what will make you just crave for them. And at the same time, you are training your body to stay with less over time, and you'll end up not even requiring whatever, or even getting the craving for it. What I'm talking about here is sustainability, because yes, you can lose 20 kgs maybe in a month, or even maybe 2 months. But then over time, you will end up even gaining, let's say, 30 kgs. Sustainability is very important. So don't cut everything 100%, just start reducing. The other thing, number 4, is avoid alcohol. Now, there is a thing about alcohol and storage of fat around your tummy, and also storage of the fat around your liver. Very essential. You need to keep your liver clean, because most of the things that will be broken down will be through the liver. And also alcohol, empty calories. And by alcohol, I mean even wine, because we have so many instances between here. I don't take beer, but I take wine. It's still the same thing. We're talking about alcohol here. And also another thing, we have so many people are selling products that will burn specifically belly fat. Just come. Now, those who are complaints, yeah, things not to do. Now, let's go to things that we can do. I'll give you a very practical example of how much of it you need in a day. Take out your phone, go to your favorite browser, and then go to calculator.net. Calculator.net. You have so many calculators here. I want you to focus on the fitness. There is BMI calculator, which is what we are going to use first of all for us to know whether we are overweight or not. Now, for the age, put your age. I'll guess mine. I don't remember the last time I even remember my... Anyway, I prefer metric units. So click on that. I leave US alone. So 27. My height is around 175, if I remember. And for weight, let's go to when I started to lose weight. I was around 80. 79, let's say 80. That was 80. Currently, I'm 69. It's fun. You should wait for the updates, and what I'm planning to do from there after hitting my target will be fun. Subscribe, by the way. So from here, you just calculate, and this will tell you that I was overweight. This is in the yellow region. So you're not supposed to be overweight or underweight. You're supposed to be within the green zone. Now, after you confirm that you're overweight, let's go to the other calculator here, which is calorie calculator. Click on that and it will take you to this. Now, this is very interesting. Let's go back to the same thing, yeah? 27 years. The gender is male. This is me. And for the height, oh, sorry, let's just use the metric units. For the height, 180. Mine is not 180, I'm 175 centimeters. And for the weight, let's go back to when I was 80 kgs. And for the activity level here, you pick what you usually do in a day, what kind of give a clear picture of your work during the day. It can be BMR. BMR is just breathing, yeah, and heart beating. You don't even lift your hand. You just do nothing. It can be little or no exercises. Maybe you just walk to the kitchen and cook and come back to the sofa, maybe to watch a movie or maybe to game. We have exercises 1 to 3 times in a day, or 1 to 3 times in a week. Just choose what best describes the scenario, what you do in a day. Like I would choose majority of the people will feel like they fall within the exercise 1 to 3 times in a day. Maybe you walk around your estate or wherever you are at. Now click on calculate after you put all those. There is a very, very important chart here, which is when you want to maintain your weight, just go ahead and take 2425 calories. So that's 2,425 calories in a day. That is, you just want to maintain the weight that you have. But you go beyond this point, you're going to gain weight. If you want extreme weight loss, you can just go ahead and cut that into 2, the calories usually taken a day. And this is quite simple, how to know the calories usually taken a day. Like I'll give you a good example. This is tea. This is a cup of tea. We have sugar, and you can easily tell how much calories that you have there. It's written. I'm trying to look for a packet so far away. So we have that. We also have sugar. So 1 spoon of sugar, calories, they're still there. And you have a bread. This bread, if you look this side here, they have indicated the energy. This is 277 calories, and this is in 100 grams. This is a 400 grams bread, so meaning that you're going to multiply 277 by 4 to get the total amount of calories you have in this bread. So if you take half of this, it means that you're going to take 277 times 2. Even your yogurt, this one is 103, this one, and this is per 100 grams. And how many grams we have here? 450. So this means that the total amount of calories we have here is 103. You multiply by around 4, so that will give you around 400 calories. So that's the way you track that. For this one, you can Google how much of this French fries. Why are they French, by the way? No, I have no idea. Maybe you've gone around and maybe you picked a bar of chocolate, or maybe you have some, yeah, maybe in your bag, and you have it somewhere. Or your fries came with your favorite soda, and in this one, in 250 mls, you have 64 calories. And here, this is 500 mls, meaning that this is 128 calories. Now you have those. Now you need to track that, how much of it, so that you don't go beyond your budget. Because if the budget was, remember we said here, if the budget is you want to have an extreme weight loss, this is your budget is you're not going to exceed 1425 in a day. So you'll have to make sure that everything that's going on is covered in your budget. Now the second thing that you can do is to choose your method. Yeah, for the method, we have 2 ways that you can go about losing your weight. One, you can use a shortcut. We have several things. We have Ozempic. Now Ozempic will decrease or reduce your appetite, and this is the same principle. You'll end up eating less. So when you have Ozempic, you are not feeling as hungry, and you don't crave for food. We also did rice water and lemon for weight loss. I wouldn't recommend, and you know that. And it kind of worked on me. I tried that. I thought it was a scam. I did it. I lost 5 kgs. It was fun. I'm still confused up to this point. I don't know what's actually working in that. And I've also seen so many people reporting that they did that and they lost weight. I don't like shortcuts, and I've been talking about that since forever. I wouldn't recommend, but if that's the only thing that you can do, it's better. It's worth than just sitting down. We also have surgical methods like a liposuction, where the fat is removed, and also if the skin is sagging, they tack it. So they make it a bit tighter. We also have something like gastric balloons. Something is put into the stomach to reduce the size of your stomach so that you eat less. The principle is the same, and you're going to see the principle, by the way. Now, for the conventional methods, we have this as an example. We have 500 calories here, meaning that if your budget was 1500, you exceeded your budget by taking this extra. You can do several things, yeah? One, you can decide to go on a treadmill 10 kilometers per hour for 40 to 50 minutes. You'll offset whatever calories that you have here. You're going to deplete them. Or you can just walk for 2 hours straight. You just walk, yeah, get your earphones and maybe your favorite music, put them, and then you walk for 2 hours. Or you can just go ahead and divide this into 2, meaning you're going to have 250 calories, and by doing that, you reduce what you have to do to offset this. Now, still on conventional, let's go to nutrition, and I'll start with the simpler one, which is, now this is a laptop, and this is a plug. So this is a source of power, external source of power, and this laptop has an inbuilt battery. Now, what will happen? Let's just turn it on. It's quite dirty. So you see, there is an internal battery, meaning that when I turn it on, it'll just turn on because there is a battery. Because inside that battery, there is power. When I insert my charger here, it will stop using the battery that we have inside here, and it will start using the external source of power because that's where the priority is. Now, if whatever I'm providing in this cable is exceeding what you're using or what I'm using in my laptop, the excess will go to charging the battery. And actually, that's how it's made. The charger is supposed to provide more power than you need so that you also get to charge the battery. Now, the body will do the same thing. When you provide external source of energy, like for example, this is my yogurt. This yogurt has sugar in it. So you have calories there. So when I provide myself with energy, I don't need to burn fat. I'll just use this. This is the priority. The body will just take whatever you've taken in diet. If you have carbohydrates there, it will just pause everything else. Now the trick here, when it comes to diet, remove or reduce anything carbohydrates. If you do that, you will force the body because now you don't have enough energy. So, and because the body demands the energy, it has to go to other sources, which will be the carbohydrates that you have stored in form of fat, in form of glycogen, and that's how you'll start burning fat. So you can just survive on meat, survive on vegetables. They're very essential at this point, and you will lose weight. The other thing, fasting. You just ignore everything, no food, nothing. You just stay without. We have intermittent fasting, whereby there is a window through which you eat, and the main reason here is within that narrow window, it's usually very hard to overeat. So, and then you have a long, prolonged period of time when you're not doing anything with food. So you give yourself or your body time to burn what you already have. And this is for good reasons. You know, a long time ago, our ancestors, through evolution, something was there then. There was not enough food. So that time when the body gets food, you'll have to store as much of it because you'll need energy to hunt and also survive and also beat the cold. So the body will, that time when you're eating, because we definitely know that you will take several days before you get another meal, so it will hold into the fat. So right now it's usually not that essential. Then it was very essential for survival. Right now it's actually very easy to get food, and actually even highly processed. You can just go get land and plant your own food, and you're able to sustain yourself. So meaning that right now we don't have issues with that. So this is kind of acting against us to some extent. Maybe we are going to evolve alongside, I don't know, maybe it might be. Now talking about weight, and the goal here is to reduce the tummy. Let's first of all get to know exactly how weight loss usually happen. And by now you understand is by providing your body with less energy than you require per day, meaning that the body will be forced to go and burn somewhere else. Unfortunately, your body does not choose where to burn fat. That's quite unfortunate. But we can work and get the results that we want. And this is quite simple. The first thing that you need to do is when you build a house on a very weak foundation, for you to build a better house, you'll have to demolish that house and then start from the foundation. I know you know where we are headed or what we mean. So just go to the basics. Burn whatever. If your hips or maybe your glutes, you have them big because of fat, accumulation of fat, what you need to do is to burn that fat completely. Just don't mind. Just don't mind. Burn everything. After burning and you're comfortable with now the level where you are, now start building muscles in targeted areas. We have specific exercises that will help in building particular muscles. But there is a caveat. And we're going to look at that caveat in a few seconds. So, like I said, first of all, lose all the weight. And then after losing that weight, you start building the muscles in the targeted areas by exercising. And when you exercise, you make sure you are targeting the areas that you want to have. Like, for example, we have exercises for glutes. We have exercises for biceps and triceps. We have exercises for shoulders. And the caveat is, there is a difference when you're growing your muscles. There is something that we call hypertrophy. And there is something we call atrophy. Hypertrophy is when you exercise the muscles and also you provide what the muscle requires, you end up bulking the cells, individual cells inside the skeletal muscles. So they're going to become larger, bigger. So you're not going to get new cells. They are the same ones that you have. And in those cells, that's where they're going to bulk, become bigger, and that's why you're going to grow the muscles in those specific areas. So that's hypertrophy. If you don't use that muscle over time, what will happen is atrophy, meaning that it's going to shrink over time. And this is the same reason when you don't use a particular part of your body, over time it becomes vestigial, like we have several vestigial organs. So there is no magic. Someone will just tell you that they're going to sell you a certain kind of a cream that you're going to apply on your tummy and you're going to lose just only in that area. No, we don't have that science yet. It's not going to work that way, and you will end up just losing your money. We have things that might work in the future, but currently we don't have any. So that's the basic, that's the best thing that you can do. Lose your weight, then build the muscle in those areas that you want. By now, I'm sure you're convinced that you're going to stay. So subscribe.